Hey everybody, welcome back to Road to Top 10, where I take a single team from the very bottom of the Showdown ladder and walk it all the way up to somewhere in the top 10. Today we are on our 40th battle. The team has so far been 33-6. We are at 15-26, and to reach that top 10 spot we need like 16-20, just about, something around there. I am Clever Lucky. If you're just joining us for the first time, I am on the close side. We've been using that same team the whole time, no adjustments whatsoever, and we're in the final stretch. We really are. So this is our 40th battle. I'll just go ahead and play it. I lead Meowstic and I lead Amoonguss. What's really scary to me is Belly Drum and Azumarill. I need to make sure I can stop it, and that's a big function of my Amoonguss, especially because they like to run Rage Powder next to it, and that's what we see right off the bat from my opponent. I set up a safeguard to make sure my Meowstic doesn't get spored and go to try to stop this Azumarill. We pretty much trade off turns here, except for I got the better end of the deal because I got a free safeguard up. He Rage Powders to eat up my Swagger, but obviously Rage Powder is not going to stop Amoonguss's attack. I take a Play Rough as that Swagger falls down onto Amoonguss. I get the Citrus Berry back up, and I Spore the Azumarill, but it wakes up with its Lumberry, so it's not Belly Drum. Pretty interesting to me. His Amoonguss will hurt itself in its confusion. I'm going to paralyze it to try to keep it from attacking. As I try to go and put this Azumarill to sleep again as it protects, I don't have a lot of offensive pressure here, so I kind of just got to status around until I get into a good position to switch out my other powerhouses in the back. Azumarill finally goes to sleep. Amoonguss wakes up and uses Synthesis, so I'm like, oh my god, what is going on? What is going on here? He switches in Mawile, which will minus my attack, but that doesn't matter because neither of these guys have any physical moves anyway. I switch out Amoonguss into Kangaskhan as Amoonguss paralyzes. Now you might think, why did Meowstic stay in? Well, it's to Swagger my Kangaskhan on the switch in. I didn't get intimidated because his Mawile came in first, so that's awesome. He Megas. I'm at +2. He'll Rage Powder here, which is good for him. I went to Charm the Mawile. That Amoonguss paying dividends for Agatino over there, but I'm going to get rid of it because it's just doing too much work. This Mawile goes for Substitute, and I'm thinking, oh my god, every single thing on this guy's team is non-standard. But it doesn't matter because he forfeits right there. I went up to 1533 from 1526. Unfortunately, sometimes the ladder doesn't pair you up with, like leveled opponents. He was just at a 1239, so I feel kind of bad, but I actually kind of like some of the moves he was making, so good on you, Agatino. Sorry that we got paired up, and but yeah, so that was that. That's 1533. Here's the next one. I'm on the far side. My opponent leads Salamence and Ludicolo. Ludicolo pretty scary to my team for the mere fact that it can like super affect like everything because it's got such great move coverage. I lead Bishop Salamence because if he did lead Intimidate, I definitely wanted my Bishop to go up, and Salamence to just intimidate him if he did. I could get the assurance kill on Gothitelle too. So here's Bishop. I know it's a threat, so I protect it. He goes to fake out the Salamence because he was afraid of it being scarfed, which mine is, and he goes to Fire Blast my Bishop. I protected it though. I Rage Powder this Fire Blast because I know Amoonguss has got a lot of special defense, especially the one I'm running. And I'm going to try to get rid of some of this Ludicolo before he burns me. Too late. I got burned. And I'm like, God. I mean, 30% is pretty good odds, but just... So I'm going to switch out Amoonguss because I want that Regenerator health back into Salamence. I'm thinking maybe his Salamence is locked because all I've seen is Fire Blast. It's not, though. He throws up a Protect. I am going to know that I am faster than him, though, right now because of that Protect, because I am Scarfed and he isn't. His Tyranitar's out here on the field, and I'm thinking, let's get it. Boom! Brick Break. No one sees that coming. So that's good. I didn't expect his Salamence to stay in and take this, to be honest. I thought he would have switched out to avoid getting Draco'd himself, but good move on his part to stay in and get a revenge kill. But that Tyranitar was way more of a threat to me than this half special attack Salamence is. He's forced to switch out, and he's got this, Gothitelle in the back. He fakes out Bisharp so that I go down to burn next turn as I Spore Gothitelle, and the Sandstorm's going to come up and hit just, everything on the field except my Bisharp. Burn is going to take me out, but I do have that Spore on Gothitelle right now, so that's good. These are my last two, Kangaskhan and Amoonguss, but they're pretty good last two to have. He switches in his Intimidate just to try to like nerf my Kangaskhan a little bit. I know the Gothitelle's sleeping though. I go and KO this Ludicolo, and I know I just put the Gothitelle to sleep, so I have a guaranteed turn of sleep. So I go to Giga Drain for a little bit of health back. That turn, that's why I knew he was going to be asleep. The switch in was good on his part, however, now he's got to sleep Gothitelle. He's got the Salamence. I Rage Powder powder away any potential damage, and I thought his Salamence would protect. It's pretty common to protect with one thing as you try to wake up with your teammate. He doesn't. He makes a good play and he goes for a Fire Blast, but that's why I Rage Powdered, because I knew Amoonguss could take it. Now my Kangaskhan's at +1. All I gotta do, Kangaskhan's faster than everything. I just gotta KO one thing and I guarantee myself a win. I Rage Powder again, and I go for the Gothitelle again, because, you know, the only... I'm expecting the Salamence to protect one of these turns, and I really don't want Gothitelle to wake up and Trick Room or wake up and Side Shock my Amoonguss. So, knowing that my Kangaskhan was faster, that's why I went after the Gothitelle. If the Salamence had been Scarfed, though, and been faster than me, I would have gone and taken it out, because once you're faster than your opponent, and, in a one-on-one where you can one-shot them, that's a guaranteed win. So, 1546 is our score. We'll move right on to the next one. Here we are, I'm on the far side, playing against Meowstic Email again. Now guys, once you're high up on the ladder, you tend to still play the same people over and over again, because they're the only people who are up there as well. So can't blame the rematches, because that's how it's going to happen. He leads this time, Poli-Toad Ludicolo, as opposed to that, I think he started Mamoswine Ludicolo last time. I go with Meowstic Amoonguss because this is my jam. Take a fake out with Meowstic, who is going to Thunderwave the Ludicolo. And I eat up a Scald. Can I survive it? Yes, especially with that Citrus Berry. I got so much health back. I put that Poli-Toad to sleep. Don't want to deal with it. Ludicolo switches out to avoid the Thunder Wave. Great move on his part as Mamoswine's ground and doesn't get paralyzed. But I still got this Amoonguss out here. I'm going to go and just Giga Drain this Poli-Toad. Looking like it might be a two-shot. I charm the Mamoswine just to make sure it can't do much damage to my Amoonguss. He goes for an Earthquake here, so this is really quite... I'm not sure if he thought I was switching in something else, but... It does decent damage, but I get another Giga Drain up on Poli-Toad. He probably was trying to actually keep me from getting too much health back from that Giga Drain on his Poli-Toad, knowing that he wanted to leave it in and sack it. So if that was his goal, that was pretty clever. Ludicolo comes in, fakes out Rotom Heat because he was afraid of my Meowstic Thunder Waving him, and he Icicle crashes into it, but I am Fire type, and I did bring a Fire type even though he's got Rain, because it does a lot of work to his backs, like all of his backs minus the Rain side. Put the Mamoswine to sleep. Here comes Mawile. Switches into a Rotom Heat. Can you imagine that, guys? Oh my gosh. Rotom Heat's going to protect from the Scald. He makes a great play. Ice Beams the Amoonguss instead. I went to Giga Drain the Mamoswine, but look at that. Doing 20% to just a Mawile. This is why non-Mega Mawile's got just the worst defenses. I switch out into a Meowstic because I'm afraid of that Scald, and I don't want to take it just yet. I protect Amoonguss. Probably should have attacked here Amoonguss because it was pretty obvious Scald into Meowstic. I guess I was expecting his Mawile to attack, but he thought his Ludicolo would be slower than my Rotom Heat. So I really should have attacked there with Amoonguss, or at least switched. That was a pretty easy switch, except for the fact that I do now understand what I was thinking. I want to keep Amoonguss in here and Rage Powder as I have Kangaskhan out and just, KO everything. I go after the Mamoswine so it doesn't wake up and KO my Amoonguss, and I know it can at least take a hit from Mawile. Mawile with big damage will knock out my Amoonguss, but takes the Rocky Helmet. And now I'm faced off with a Rotom Heat Kangaskhan versus a Ludicolo Mawile. Ludicolo's got access to Fake Out. I protect the Kangaskhan because I think that's where the threat's going to be, and I just bop right into Mawile. Now, that was a risky play, guys, but I felt like that was the right one to make, and I just went with it. Really paid off big time. So that's actually going to secure the match for me. Jump up to 1568 after that battle, so that was good. That was good. Alright, hopping into this next one, you can see another Rain team with Gothitelle, Mawile, fun in the back. So, up here at this point of the ladder, there's quite a lot of these teams just like this. I lead Amoonguss next to my own Kangaskhan, and I believe he leads Ludicolo and Poli-Toad. Yeah, so the only threat here is getting burned from his Scald, from his Ludicolo. I protect Kangaskhan because like I said, don't want to get that burn. He fakes it out because he's got to deal with it somehow or else he's going to take a lot of damage, and actually doubles into it with a Scald as I put the Poli-Toad to sleep. So the Poli-Toad could be Scarfed, I don't know yet. He Hydro Pumps with Ludicolo, which is fine with me because that means I'm not getting burned. However, the bulk on that Ludicolo is real. It would have totally survived my frustration, but I got a lucky crit, so oh man. Thank God for that crit. It would have forced me to Sucker Punch next turn instead of doing, more damage later. I do realize that the Poli-Toad went after my frustration, so now we know it's not Scarfed. I go to Power Up Punch it as Gothitelle comes in, and I Rage Powder just to make sure I don't take damage from Gothitelle to knock out my Kangaskhan. He goes for a Scald. He wakes up, Scald burns. Like, whatever. Side Shock crits. Makes up for my crit, because that's going to drop my Amoonguss, and that was a little untimely death for my Mushroom. I guess faint. They don't die. Send out Rotom Heat, because I know the Poli-Toad's not Scarfed. I'm at +2. He goes for an Intimidate. He switches to Intimidate to try to keep his Gothitelle alive as I pound it with a Citrus Berry. Doesn't keep it alive because I got another crit. So, oh man, crit heaven. Woo! As I Thunderbolted the Politoed spot just to make sure it went down. Mawile takes a lot from that, and he's down to his last 2. I got this Kangaskhan here. I've got this Rotom Heat. Might as well double protect just to see what he's going to do because I don't think he's got any setup moves here. Politoed protects. So everyone protects. So now that I burned his protects, I'm in a great position. Except for the fact that that leftovers went off. That's the only thing I lost on that turn was that leftovers health. I Sucker Punch here to avoid his Sucker Punch, which with that leftovers actually kept him alive. So props for that. Avoid his Sucker Punch with my Sucker Punch, and I Thunderbolt the Politoed. Now, we had been playing pretty, back and forth or whatever, except for this dude literally waited to the last possible second to make a move on this very last turn. So we've just been playing normally, like, you wait a little bit, they think about it, they make a move. Except for on his last turn when he was just had 1 Pokemon left against both of mine. He realized he couldn't win. I still had something in the back. He waited out the entire timer. I had to timer him, and then he waited out the entire timer until the very last second, and then chose a move, and then tried to keep playing, except for he did it like half a second too late, and ended up losing on inactivity time. So, whatever that was, thanks for making me wait. I don't know, maybe an emergency happened, except, it was very fishy that if you watch it again, if you watch the very last second of the battle, at the very bottom it says he lost inactivity and then his protect went up because that was him trying to go in at the very last possible second. But yeah, so either way, I went up to 1583 from that game and he dropped down to 1470 from 1486. I am the cat. That was a good game. Sorry for the 2 crits. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys supporting the series. I hope you guys are liking it so far. I think right now, what is this? We're like 38-6 is the team at 1583, so we're in the final stretch. I hope you guys, I hope to see you guys next time to continue our streak. And yeah, thanks again.